Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like the video. Please share the video. And it'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So we're going to get into Southern Charm, Season 4, Episode 8. Let's go. So basically we start off with Craig and Naomi. What a cute couple. I believe they're going to work out. I believe this counselor was total trash. And on a lot of these reality shows, the counselors and these doctors they use seem like they don't have a degree, seem like they are hired actors. I have no idea. But then, I was thinking that when I first watched the episode, then later on in the episode, you get Craig and Naomi talking about how terrible the counselor was. So anyways, I believe their relationship is going to work out. And basically, they just need to communicate more. And have compassion more for each other and actually get into one another's activities. Whatever Craig is doing, Naomi should get involved, and whatever Naomi's doing, Craig should get involved. Like Craig should be asking her about her classes, how's school going, all that other stuff. Like find out what Naomi likes to do and become a part of that, because Craig, you are a jack of all trades and you can do just about anything. So paying more attention to that as well. And then Naomi just getting to what Craig likes to do, with his sewing, with woodworking, with taking care of the cat and all that other good stuff. I think if they do that, their foundation would be even more solid and no one could come in and interfere, and Naomi wouldn't feel the need to try to seek out outside advice. But basically them going to counseling at a young age, as they are to secure their relationship and to fix their problems, really means that they love each other and they want to be together. They're not waiting until the relationship's over or they're too old. You know what I mean? So they're going to work out. They're a cute couple. It's all good. But Craig, you got to respect her more and not say so much negative things. You have to tone it down. Don't use words like morons, idiots, stupid. Don't use words like that at all, period. And Naomi, don't call him stupid. Don't call him oversensitive. Just use really gentle words towards each other. And I believe everything will work out wonderfully. So then moving on, we get to Landon. Landon meets up with Austin. They are at the bar chilling. They're having drinks and everything. And so it seems like they're having, they actually are building a relationship. And, I see Austin reaching out to Landon more than anybody else in the show. Like this is his second time hanging out with her. You know what I'm saying? But we already know Austin is head over heels in love with Chelsea. He loves Chelsea. That's it. If not, he's a good fucking actor. So anyways, they're having a conversation. And then, Austin asks about, Drew. And then, Landon says, oh, you know what Drew did the other day? He told me that he loved me. And so Austin's looking at her like, okay. And then so Landon goes, but, I replied to him saying, are you drunk or something? Because, oh my God, I can't believe you love me. I can't believe anybody would love me, basically. That's the type of insecure behavior Landon is dishing out. And also, she's not taking Drew serious at all. So it is what it is. And he must feel like the relationship is going in a different way for him to tell, Landon that he loves her. Basically, he probably feels like the relationship is going somewhere. She's exhibiting different behaviors when she's with him and showing us, the viewers, another side of herself. So we'll see how that goes. So anyways, and then Austin, he throws a shot at Landon and he goes, you want somebody young like Shep and somebody with money like Thomas. And so then, Landon goes, it's not about money. It's not about money. It's not about money at all. And so I thought that was funny. So then Austin also says to, Landon before that, so do you see yourself settling down with Thomas, or do you see yourself with Thomas? And she goes, yeah, I don't know, really. Just like if he can keep the craziness at bay, all that drama with Kathryn at bay, maybe there's a possibility. Maybe there is something, but I don't know if I'm ready for that hurricane of Kathryn, basically. That is what she's saying. And then Austin was like, well, so then, Landon throws in her dog. She only comes home to a dog. That's all she has. That's her relationship companion or whatever. So Austin is like, well, your dog is not going to be a ring barrier, basically. And so, And so then Landon goes, he already was once. She goes, oh my God, I need another shot. Yep. So we all know that Landon's been divorced. And she's looking for a new husband, and preferably someone with money. Don't, Landon, you're not fooling nobody. So anyways, so moving on from that, we go to, so they're having that conversation, they're talking, and so then Landon takes a shot at Austin because he basically called her a gold digger, but she wants a young dude, younger than, Thomas, with money. And so then she goes, oh, I see myself with like somebody like, Shep is like, going to a bar and having drinks and with his hat turned backwards. And so Austin's like, oh, so you're talking about me? Because I got my hat turned backwards. Is that at me? Yes, it was at you, but basically. So then, long behold, guess who walks through the door? It's Shep. How did Shep know that they were here having drinks? But we know this is being filmed, but we always know that Shep is always out on the town drinking and going to bars and restaurants. He's always out because he has nobody at home. He's a free agent. So anyways, it was just so funny to see Shep walk to the door, and basically Austin did have his hat to the back, and Shep had a haircut that Chelsea gave him. So anyway, Shep says, oh, look at these two consenting adults, basically throwing a shot like, okay, they're consenting to chill with each other, they're consenting to be here, they're consenting to engage into a relationship, because Shep still thinks that Austin and Landon are going to somehow end up together or be together, point blank. It is what it is. And so Landon goes, oh, here goes a shot in the beer guy. And so she goes, no, this is the new Shep. And so basically telling Shep that Austin is the new Shep because Shep stole his girl Chelsea, you know what I mean, and he's bitter about it and he lost, because we all know Shep does not like to lose, period. So anyways, moving on from that, Shep was like, okay, oh, so he's a new upgrade, so he's a new and improved Shep, he's the upgrade basically. And so Shep is in his confessional, says, I told you guys, where there's smoke there's fire, because Shep is still believing that Landon and Austin have something going on, or they're gonna eventually have something going on. But it is what it is. But Austin is in love with Chelsea. I could be totally wrong, but so anyways, Shep is like, so what's going on, guys, basically. And so then Shep throws up, the trip that they went to shoot the Quell, I believe. I think it was Quell or whatever. And so, Shep is like, yeah, Chelsea was really turned on by you. You look all gun-ho and everything. You look so good with the gun, shooting the Quell, whatever, and you was up in the mountains, up in the hills with the hillbillies, basically. And then, Shep goes, but she woke up the next day and realized that he's only just a hipster. He's a hipster loser. Shep calls him a hipster loser, and Austin's feeling it. I just wish Austin would stop talking to Shep. He needs to stop having conversations with Shep about Chelsea. For real. He just needs to stop, because Shep is playing mind games, which Austin addresses and says as well. But, stop giving Shep ammunition, because he's going to keep running with it and shooting. And he's a good shot. So anyways, so then Austin was, listen to this, guys. And so, Shep got this look on his face. Oh, my God, what is he about to say? And he looks at Landon. They don't show Landon. The camera doesn't show Landon's face. So Shep is looking like, oh, what the fuck? He better not say nothing that's going to break my heart. So anyways, Austin is like, the next day after the hunting trip or whatever, me and Chelsea woke up the next morning. She said, I like you, you like me, let's get together. I'm singing a Bonnie song, but nah. But that, Chelsea said, I like you. Austin said, I like you too as well. But Chelsea said, let's just play it by ear. Let's just take it one day at a time. Let's not rush. And this was like music to Shep's ears. Shep was like, oh, she's just like me. She's a philanderer. She's just like me. And so then Austin was like, what do you mean by that? And Shep is like, dude, you know what I mean, motherfucker. And so Austin is like, oh, so what you trying to say, that you're a better fit for Chelsea or something like that? Is that what you're trying to say, dude? But I'm hitting it on a regular. So what are you talking about, Shep? So anyways, Austin goes in his confessionals and he's like, listen, I know Shep is trying to play mind games on me and all this other stuff, but it's not going to work, buddy. It ain't gonna work. It is what it is. So you can go somewhere else with your fucking mind games. And Shep is like, see, this opens the door for Shep. In the next episode, we're gonna see Shep is gonna try to go after Chelsea, basically. Because guess what? You let the doors open, you left an opportunity open, and Shep is a sore loser. He's not gonna lose gracefully and well. That's not just not in his character, basically. And Landon is just sitting there like, oh, this is a new Shep, and so Landon goes, oh, I got a new Shep, bitch. You ain't never had Shep. Okay, so I don't know how he can be your new Shep when you never had Shep. So let's get that clearly and straight. And Austin is totally in love with Chelsea from what I see on episodes. The shit could change like they always do, but we'll see. So anyways, moving forward, we get Thomas. He meets up with his father. Thomas claims, woe is me. He tried to please his father in every way, shape, or form. He's just not able to. All that bullshit. Thomas knows he had a great life, a great childhood, and he, as an adult, he fucked up his life, basically. He has money to get counseling, therapy, help, all that good stuff. So we don't want to hear your woe is me, Thomas. Not at all. Because let's talk to some people with tragic childhoods and tragic lives. So let's move on. But Thomas' father seems like he's witty and he's funny and he's down to earth. So anyways, and we learned that Thomas' mom and father got a divorce at a young age, and all of Thomas's brothers and sister are well-adjusted adults. They're not drug addicts. They have careers, and they're doing so much well. And Thomas is the youngest, and he's actually, spreading his business and doing all the bullshit that he's been doing, basically. And Thomas wants to make amends with his life and all that other good stuff. So we see that Thomas's father's buying property all over Charleston, and he's handing over the portfolio to Thomas or to another brother. Thomas just said that. Who knows? So anyways, we get Austin and Chelsea. They look so cute together. They meet up, they go on a date, they're at the gym or whatever, and they're doing exercise and playing games or whatever. And so once if Austin scores a basket, this is like Love and Basketball. Austin scores a basket, he gets to kiss Chelsea. So he kisses her, and Chelsea's like, you got a boner. So that tells me that this dude is infatuated, he's in love, and he is turned on by her. Whatever she's doing in the bed, he is in love. And she was like, you got a boner, dude. He was like, oh yeah, I do. He's like a little kid, but a kind of a mature kid and a nice person. And it is what it is. Like I said, Chelsea looks like she belongs with Shep. So me and Shep agree on that, because I said that in my last video. So anyways, they actually sit down and have a heart-to-heart. And Austin, Chelsea asks Austin, how come your mom and your father had, your sister so far apart, like 9 years later, whatever. So, Austin explains the story that he had an older sister. She will be 32 years old today. But what happened was, they went to a park, an amusement park or something like that. And what happened is she fell off the ride and she died. And he was very young. And so his parents didn't want him to be the only child. So it took them some time to have another child. So they did, and so his sister's like his best friend. He's really close to her. Chelsea's like, oh, her heart is melting, like mine was melting, listening to Austin's story. It was like so sweet and so sad at the same time. And so then with that, Austin tells us his sister's name was Kyle, the elder sister that passed away. And then Chelsea was like, oh my God, my brother's name is Kyle. So it's like, there's an omen for them to kind of be together. You know what I mean? There's signs that they have things in common. It can actually work. But Chelsea's kind of wild, and Shep is wild too as well. And I'm believing that Chelsea's getting a little turned off because he's so into puppy love and he's so into her. And sometimes that's a turn off to some women. But if you had a man that's into you and want to be with you and share his life with you and want to tell you his story, his woes, his goods, his bad, and he's really like into you, you're supposed to hold on to that and take that, because you might get the next one might not be nowhere near like that, might be horrific, you might be in a horrible relationship. So you ladies, if you got a guy that is feeling you and digging you like that and wants to be with you, but he's just too much into you, and you feel like, oh, because Austin's not clingy at all, but some women get turned off by that, just like some men get turned off by a woman just liking them more than they like the person. But if you have someone like that, don't let them go, because you never know when the next one's gonna come along. So anyways, moving on. So anyways, it looks like they're really developing a really good friendship, and they're having good sex or whatever. That's what it seems like. So anyways, it was so cute to see that, and it was so nice to learn some more information about Austin. And so then we go to Kathryn. But Kathryn does call Whitney, and calls Whitney, and she tries to make a date with Whitney to apologize to him or whatever, to mend wounds, to mend fences, because she's in the 12-step program. So you need to go back and talk to people, whatever. And so, like, she did the same thing with Shep. With Shep or whatever. So anyways, Kathryn meets up with Chelsea, and Kathryn needs to start working. She needs to get a job. And basically, she wants to get back into modeling and all that other good stuff. So she goes to Chelsea because Shep told her that she's a good hairdresser. So Kathryn gets there, and the only thing I didn't like is just Kathryn just running her business. Everything that she can possibly tell Chelsea that she don't even know about Thomas. This is how rumors get spread. This is how things get misconstrued. This is how just shit happens. Like, keep your fucking business to yourself. You're already talking to 2 other people. You know what I mean? Stick to them. You don't have to go and tell Chelsea anything, You're already having help and assistance from JD and Elizabeth. So you don't need to go tell Chelsea anything, but maybe it might be beneficial in the future in the rest of the episodes. But anyways, Kathryn's telling all the business, how much she still loves Thomas. But it's not like she's in love with him. She wants to be with him. She wants to make amends, that she wrote him a letter. And basically, she's trying to build their relationship back and co-parent. She's telling Chelsea all this. And Chelsea's like, okay, well, oh my God. So Chelsea's kind of feeling like, okay, yeah, I totally get it. I totally understand. And all this other stuff. But I guess Kathryn is venting. But Kathryn, you can vent to the wrong person and tell the information to the wrong people, because, Chelsea is best friends with Cameron, and Chelsea could possibly go back and tell Cameron, and Cameron's going to use this information in any negative way that she can, because she does not want you and Thomas together at this point, because she has seen so many things from you, so many different behaviors from you, and how Thomas reacts when he's with you, and she's just not feeling you guys being in a relationship together, even though it's none of her business. But please keep your mouth closed, Kathryn. So anyways, we get to JD. JD, he meets up with Thomas in his office, and then Thomas is like, basically questioning JD, saying like, hey, on social media, I've been seeing some pictures of Elizabeth and Kathryn chilling and all this other stuff, so what's going on with that? Like, questioning him. So JD's like, I told you, Kathryn came over the other day, they are the godparents to your child. Like, come on. And Thomas is really sitting there like an arrogant asshole. And I know, and it just looked like JD's just there like, okay, I got to deal with this, because I want the future of the children to have a really good positive outcome, basically. Because if you've seen in the last episode, JD and his kids or whatever, you see how well trained, well behaved, and how cute his kids look. And he's looking for that to happen with Thomas's kids as well, because it's not like they're gonna be godparents and then act like they don't know Kathryn or Thomas. You know what I mean? So they're actually putting themselves in a situation to try to make the lives of the children better. They're not really focusing on them, but in order to make the lives of the children better, you have to get with the parents and make sure they can co-parent and talk and and be on the same page and have consistency, basically. So anyways, JD's sitting in the chair like, damn, okay, here we go. And Thomas is like, she wrote me this letter and all this other stuff. And then it cut to JD, and JD's like, oh my God, I can't believe Kathryn took my advice. I can't believe it. She actually took my advice and wrote him a letter. OMG. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh shit, she did. She took your advice. So now, but that is kudos to Kathryn for actually listening to people that are adults, that are married, have children, and they're living a productive life. Like, you just can't listen to any and everybody, basically. So anyways, that shows that that Kathryn is actually taking the steps to make her life better and to make her children's life better, because she's been hit with reality, basically having her kids taken away, going to rehab. This is a whole new realm now that Kathryn has to insert herself into, to have custody or to have joint custody with her kids or whatever. And they were showing like back pictures of Kathryn when like she first entered the show, and I must say, oh my god, I just did, sometimes you forget that Kathryn is really young. Like, she's really, really young. It's almost like when she had her babies, she was a baby raising babies. She's really, really young, and she had babies with an older established gentleman that was still sowing his oats, and had clout and probably promised her the world. And I don't know if Thomas helped her with her substance abuse problems. Who knows? So anyways, and so then Thomas was like, Thomas is questioning JD. Oh, did she seem sincere? Did she seem like, she was coherent? Did she seem like she was this? Did she seem like she was that? And then JD was like, yeah, she seemed very sincere. She seemed very concerned. She seemed like she really want things to work between you and her, and the co-parenting and making sure the well-being of your kids are together, basically. And Thomas is sitting there like in his big chair, like, like a politician. Like, he's almost acting like JD's there to get a campaign donation or some shit. Like, what the fuck, Thomas? God. I wouldn't be able to tolerate Thomas. Oh god. So anyways, and JD's just sitting there like, I'm doing this for the greater good. I'm doing this for the greater of America. And so then Thomas was like, well, got the letter. And so, JD's like, so what parts do you feel comfortable in sharing, And that's a good question to ask somebody, because maybe they don't want to share anything. So Thomas was like, I'm going to read you the whole goddamn letter. And let's talk about what Thomas says. There go the fire trucks. Thomas says, oh, it was well put together. It was well written. Like, come on. He's pointing out all these things that really doesn't matter. But that is the type of politician, the type of guy he is. Because, like, it was well written. The vocabulary, the plurals, the verbs, the subject, the predicate. And so, so that just kind of shows you where Thomas is at. And Thomas is like, well, so is she really sincere, JD? Because I just feel like it's a trap. I don't know what her motives are. And Kathryn feels the same way. So they feel the same way about each other. They're feeling like when one person is, lending something out, that, okay, maybe it's a trap, maybe it's not sincere. So basically, Thomas reads the letter. Basically, it's just Kathryn saying all the things that she was supposed to say, from bullet point to bullet point, that she got her advice from JD and Elizabeth, to reach out, that extend that olive branch. And so basically Thomas asks JD what to do. Now and so JD's like, well, I think you should reach out. She has extended an olive branch to you. I think you should extend her an olive branch as well, so you can actually get on the same page. And so, Thomas is like, Thomas, like, he's confused. Sometimes you forget that Thomas is an older gentleman or older man or whatever. So, JD is like, in my advice, she looks great. She looks good. She looks healthy. She looks clean. She looks like, life is treating her well, and she's just trying to get on the right path, basically. And so Thomas was like, well, we'll see what happens. So we don't know what's going to happen, basically. So we'll see what happens between Kathryn and Thomas. But at least, Thomas is reaching out to JD for advice and for help. He's just not thinking about this on his own, because, Thomas thinking on his own about relationship with women really doesn't go well. So anyway, that was good. And so then we get Kathryn. Kathryn has her little confessional, and she was like, I really love Thomas. He's such a nice guy, but he's such a fucking asshole. Of course he is an asshole. Girl, but you had his babies. But so anyways, you just see how young Kathryn. So Thomas doesn't know what to think or whatever. So, and plus Thomas doesn't want to do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing as well. And, I think and then Thomas says to JD that, her apology or whatever. Like, she's apologizing in this letter and all this other stuff. She's never apologized before. She never owned up for her own behavior. She's never showed any consideration for anybody else other than herself. And it almost sounds like Thomas, when he was trying to criticize Kathryn's past behaviors, that he was talking about himself. I'm trying to tell you, it looked like Thomas was talking about himself, and he was like, never apologize, never own up to anything. Sound like Thomas was talking about himself. So, but JD's like, stand that olive branch to her. It is what it is. So anyways, Patricia's gonna have a dinner party. Everyone's at the dinner table. Everyone's there. It's Shep, it's Whitney, it's Naomi, it's Craig, it's Patricia, her friends, Whitney and his date, and Shep is there as well. So anyways, they're at the dinner table, and Thomas is there at the dinner table. They're eating, blah, blah, blah. And Patricia introduces her friend. Her friend talks about forgiveness, love, and moving forward, and letting things go so you can grow, and all this other stuff. So then, Patricia has a special guest. Her special guest as a psychic healer, basically coming in. She's Indian. Basically, the theme of the dinner party was Indian and everything. So anyways, basically everyone sits. Basically, once the psychic arrives, you sit in a chair, and whoever in the audience can ask you a question can ask a question to the psychic, and then the psychic will answer. So basically, here it is. So then we go to I think it's oh, I must say, Michael the butler, Patricia, when they call him Aladdin, that was so true and so real. It looked like that or whatever. So basically, who sits in the chair first? I think Landon, she sits in the chair first, I think. I don't know who sits in it. No. I think it's Cameron. Cameron sits in the chair first, and basically the question is asked. I believe the question is asked by Whitney, I think, or Craig, and they asked us, is she ever going to experience motherhood, or she's going to be a mother? And the psychic said yes, she's going to be a mother. About in the end of 2017, she's actually going to have 3 kids. And everyone's like, wow. And so Cameron's like, oh my God, I'm so scared, I heard that before. And so it is what it is. And so then Craig, I think then the next person that sits in the chair is Craig. And who asks the question is Shep. Of course, Shep asks the question towards Craig. Is Craig ever going to admit that he does not have any desire to be an attorney? He doesn't, and that's not his true passion. That's not what he want to be. And then the psychic said, no, that's not true. Craig is going to be a great attorney. Actually, that is his true passion, and he's going to own his own law firm. But we already know that Craig has passed the bar exam, and he's actually officially an attorney. So they was like, Naomi, you want to ask any questions? Naomi was like, no, I don't want to ask any questions because I've been told to keep my mouth closed, and I don't want to ask any personal questions in front of this group. So it seems like Naomi is really moving forward to making sure that her and Craig solidify their relationship, and she's respecting his boundary issues. Kudos to you, Naomi. So anyways, and then the next person to sit in the chair is Landon. Landon sits in the chair, and the question is asked by Craig, is there any person that Landon's going to be in an intimate relationship that's possibly her soulmate, her lover, and is that person in the room? The psychic said yes, it is, and she actually going to meet her soulmate. Her soulmate's here in the room. But so they say, who's the name? And there was like, the psychic's like, I'm not going to name drop. So anyways, and so that question is asked for Landon. So Landon's going to be happy. She's going to get married or whatever. And that's something that she does want to do. And so then we have, I think there's probably more to her question. Then Shep sits in the chair, and the question is asked, is he going to get married? And anything like that. So the psychic says he's not going to get married for a long, long time from now because his biggest fear is being alone. Cameron says, oh yes, I believe everything that she says. And then Shep says, on the contrary, I have to respectfully disagree with you because I think my fear is of consistently monopoly environment, that to consistently have the same partner day in and day out. That's his fear with being with one person and one person only. That's his fear basically. And so then it's time for Thomas to sit in the chair. Then Whitney sits in the chair, and then it's Whitney's they asked Whitney, is he ever going to give Patricia grandkids? The psychic said yes. And then Patricia goes, and preferably, am I going to be alive? The psychic says yes. So then Whitney leaves the hot seat. It's time for Thomas. Thomas enters the hot seat, and Whitney knows how to stir the pot. Whitney knows how to be Whitney. Whitney knows how to get shit going. Whitney knows how to get the party started. Whitney knows how to get the drama going. And so he does. Whitney does what he does. So Whitney gets the party started basically by at once Thomas sits in the chair, and Whitney says Whitney asks the psychic, like, this he's having some problems with his ex that's in a relationship that he's in a relationship with, and basically they're having a custody battle, and the relationship is the relationship's over. It ended on a sour note basically, but his ex has reached out to me because she's going through her 12 steps. She wants to talk to me to apologize to me. So Whitney's like, so where do you see that going? And so the psychic is like, I'm not reading anything. I can't pick up shit on that because Kathryn is blocking that energy. So anyways, Thomas doesn't get to say anything. Thomas doesn't get to say a word. Landon's getting upset because she was like, oh my God, here's Kathryn. She's trying to climb back up the social ladder, trying to get into Whitney's good gracious. Like, wow, Landon, like, you really had to go there. Like, you don't give a fuck about Thomas's kids or what's going on with that situation. Like, if she wants to make amends with somebody, she should be able to. Landon just doesn't believe it because, Landon and Kathryn have beef. Kathryn almost attacked Landon and all this other stuff. But now seeing that Landon is hooking up with Thomas, not yet, but is going to, it almost seems like it gives validity to Kathryn's anger, her madness that she had in the past, that she was her intuition was picking up that, you was trying to give her man, her baby daddy. So anyways, and then everyone gets into a full-fledged argument. Cameron is like, oh my God, everyone shut up, don't talk about this, leave this alone, it's none of our business. That's between Thomas and that's between Kathryn. Let's leave this alone. And I don't think it's a good idea. Landon's like, it's not a good idea as well. Landon is like, what do you mean give her a chance? Every time I always took the high road with that. I always took the high road with Kathryn, and she always turned on me and turned her back on me, and she was always fucking rude to me, timeless after time. And then, Craig is like, oh my God, that's a complete lie, you are lying. And then Landon goes, I'm not lying, what are you talking about? Apologize to me right now, Craig. Craig is not apologizing because you already know Craig don't like to apologize as well, and he's definitely not going to apologize to you, Landon. So anyways, Landon gets up and she goes, actions speak louder than words. It's just all talk. It's just all words. And so, Whitney's not saying anything. He's just sitting back because he just stirred this motherfucking pot. Shep is like, what are you guys talking about? That's a good idea for her to reach out and talk to Whitney. How could it hurt? How could he do anything? It's just a hello, goodbye, how you doing? Because we already know Shep did this. He's already reached out with Kathryn and he talked to Kathryn, and they made their amends and they're on basically a good terms now. And so Landon's totally against it. Patricia's totally against it. Cameron's totally against it. Craig is willing, wants Whitney to meet up with Kathryn. And so does Shep, and Shep is like, is everyone stupid? Is everyone ignorant? Is everyone like, come on, what's going on? And so then they leave the house, they go outside. Cameron's out there. Cameron is like, oh my God, this is the wrong idea. Everybody needs to mind their business and not get into it. But Cameron, you never mind your business. You always in somebody's business. Just because this is not a favorable situation for you to impede and intrude on, you don't want anybody else to. You need to step back because that's his baby's mama and she got kids. And if she wants to make amends with her baby daddy's friends so they can all be on a good term and have a good environment for their kids and for the kids to be around Thomas, Kathryn, and his friends, this is a step that she does need to take, in my opinion. Everyone deserves a second chance. There's not everyone. There's some people that do not deserve a second. When you kill, murder, steal, and all that other bullshit, you don't deserve shit. If you're a horrible individual, but Cameron feels that Kathryn is a horrible individual. She goes, Kathryn does nothing but turn on the people that she's with. That's her friends. She does does nothing but create turmoil after turmoil after turmoil with people. And then Kathryn, then Landon's like, I've never been Kathryn's friend. I don't even know the girl. I never even really seen her. And so Shep is like, won't you stop fucking lying? That's a lie. You've seen her. You've been around her. You know who the fuck she is. And so Craig is like, you do know who she is. And so basically it's going back and forth. And it's just like, Cameron is really not feeling Kath. I never knew that it ran this fucking deep. So Landon was like, I don't give a fuck no more. She's going her separate ways because, you know, Thomas might be her new husband. That's her new baby. So whatever. So, you know, Landon should have just kept her mouth closed and didn't say a word and kind of let the situation play out instead of getting raw and a heavy tit. You know what I mean? Because Thomas is watching as well. Everyone else is watching. Conduct yourself in a ladylike manner, especially when you're trying to catch. The catch of the day to you is Thomas, you know what I mean? Not my type of catch. So anyways, like, be relaxed, calm, mellow out, fucking drink, get drunk like you usually do. Fucking relax. So anyways, and if Patricia's friend wasn't there, Patricia would have let the conversation go on because Patricia would have been taking notes. Her and Whitney would have met the next day and talked to, okay, we need to talk to this and this and this. But so it didn't happen because Patricia's friend was there and she didn't want any of this kind of conversation going on. So Cameron's outside arguing with Shep. Shep is like, you know, Patricia's friend just said about forgiveness and moving on with your life. And so Cameron's not trying to hear it. She don't want no parts of it. And Craig is like, come on, she has good intention, has goodwill, basically. So it is what it is. So now you see who was really against Kathryn when her and Thomas were together. So it's a lot of fucking shit that went on. The reason why their relationship didn't work. It wasn't just only Thomas, wasn't just only Kathryn. There's a lot of other shit involved. So anyways, please like and subscribe. My review on Southern Charm. Thanks.